Hello, and welcome back to the High School Esports League. My name is Whoopshoe. Joined alongside of me today is my good friend, Attorney Ernie, making his debut here in the HSEL. Ernie, how is it going today?
I'm doing great. You know, it was a pretty relaxing Thursday, but things are about to gear up here as we got a fiery Rocket League match set for us.
Yeah, we do indeed. We have the 3-2 Vera Hawks taking on the Copiague Eagles, who are currently 5-2, a monstrous 5-2 at that. And both of these teams are geared up and ready to go. They're so anxious that they started the match, and we had to tell them, "Hey guys, back out of this lobby real quick. We still have some introductions to do over here."
You know, you got to pump the brakes a little bit here. I know you're roaring ready to go. School day's over with. You've been probably thinking about this all day.
Yeah,
but you got to hold on just a little bit longer before you can let it all loose.
Yeah, exactly. These guys are just sitting there in the study hall class just thinking about this matchup right now. They're like, dude, we got to get this one. We have to get this one underneath our belts in order to establish this dominance, especially over such a team like, in my personal opinion, Copiague Eagles, who are, like we said, 5-2 right now, currently in the season, one of the more dominant teams here in the HSEL. But at the same time, I mean, Vera High School, they're not too far behind. They're sitting currently at 3-2, trying to pick up this hot streak, trying to get pointed in the right direction, towards the tail end of the season. Because right now, it is week number 8. The week is, the regular season is coming to a close.
No, both teams, they have winning records, so both teams, they know how to win. So at this point, for me, it's like, I don't know. Is the better team here.
We're going to hop into game number 1. The Copiague Eagles in the yellow and the Vera Hawks in the red, or the blue and the orange side of the field. So if you guys get confused, don't worry, so will we. I guarantee we mess up at least once or twice. But, well, me and Ernie are professionals. We're going to do the best that we possibly can here in this matchup. But going to be starting off with a little bit of back and forth action, traditional standard Rocket League, as both teams tend to battle for field position here.
Yeah, both teams just really kind of getting their feet wet, not showing all of their cards just yet, but just kind of settling in, and then you really start to go full bore. It was Mystic with a shot way downfield, but can't get anything going.
Speaking of full bore, we have somebody on the Vera Hawks named Blue Pig. So I see what you did there, Ernie. Even if you didn't try to do it, you did it. Okay, I'm going to give you that
I didn't even realize that.
I'm going to give you that point 100%, but yeah, a little bit of pressure being mounted right now, but the Copiague Eagles and Mystic is going to go ahead and take full-on advantage of that one. Score first here for the Eagles, put them up early.
And just a quick transition for Mystic, a bit of a half rotation. Dunks lunchbox, sends him to the back of the lunch line, and Copiague up 1-0.
Good start so far right here for the Eagles. And another kickoff goal, something you rarely see. The pinch kickoff strat working out in their favor. The Eagles go up by 2.
Oh, just didn't get behind that ball enough, and it just pinched right back for Mystic. And for Vieira, this is not the start you wanted going into game 1.
No, not at all. This is definitely one of those games where you have to kind of approach it a little bit differently. But there's still a lot of time on the clock. 3 minutes and 50 seconds to be exact. This Blue Pig fires a shot towards net. Ghost is going to save that one away. And quickly covered up by the defense right here of the Eagles. A little bit of, not mismatch necessarily, but at the same time, it's a 2v1 situation right there for the Vera Hawks, and they luckily escaped that transition. Here comes a shot off the backboard. Double touch potential right there for Blue Pig. Going to misfire that one a little bit too hard off the backboard. Nice pass center as well. Here comes Lunchbox with the gather. Beats one defender. Going for a second touch. Maybe going for a pass down to Goat. Couldn't quite come up with a touch either. That one's going to be knocked away into the corner.
And for Vieira, they're getting these good almost double touches. And for Copiague, you have to respect it. Because the one time you don't respect it, Vieira's going to bury it. And it's only a 2-goal lead, and that can instantly be cut down to 1.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of teams tend to, play a little bit more passively, especially when they go up early in the ball game. In this one, like you said, sitting at 2-0 right now. So they tend to go, oh my goodness, all daylight and just miss that double touch off the back wall. Even had a demolition to work out in their favor as well. But a big missed opportunity right there for the Eagles. But yeah, you tend to start to play a lot more passive, a lot more laid back. But I don't really see that right now happening for the Eagles. They're trying to add more on and trying to take a couple more games away, or a couple more goals away from the Hawks.
The Eagles looking to extend their lead and just it feels like they have a vice grip around Vieira right now, just slowly closing in, unable to capitalize just yet as we pass halftime here in game 1. Another backboard opportunity, but Vieira stands tall, keeping the deficit at 2.
Yeah, good defense so far from Vieira Hawks, escaping a lot of these opportunities that the Eagles have had so far. There's been at least a handful, and it's been just nonstop, constant pressure for at least the last 2 minutes of this ball game here in game number 1. And then the the Hawks have just been hanging on by a thread. The Eagles have been knocking on the door for the last 2 minutes plus. So we're going to see if the Hawks can mount this offense, maybe get a couple of goals themselves. They had a couple of opportunities early on, but just missed the mark. Good infield pass right there from Mystic to Martin. Gonna find the back of the net. That's gonna be the first goal right there. But look at this pass from Mystic.
Mystic, that is a beautiful saucer pass straight to Martin, who's in the theoretical slot if we're talking hockey terms here. And he's left uncontested.
Yeah, it was just a good, well-placed pass. On top of that, I believe it was Mystic who actually, Ghost who actually had the first contact on that one to pass that one to Mystic. So everybody getting involved there on the offensive side of the field for the Eagles. Here comes Lunchbox now, trying to get the side wall read. Couldn't quite get the secondary touch. Goat gonna pop that one in the air as well. It'll be a tough read for him to have the follow-up touch. Mystic and Martin trying to go and connect towards the back of the net of the Hawks. They're gonna survive though. Blue Pig clears it over into the corner. The 100 boost is gonna spawn, and Mystic's gonna grab that one. Nice pop pass.
No way!
What a solo play right here from Mystic.
And Mystic just does it all himself off the sidewall, gets the ground pinch and the follow-up to go through, had to dodge a player to get there. And game 1's just been the Mystic show.
Yeah, it really, really has been the Mystic show, the Eagles show as well. Like I said before, all the members of the Eagles getting involved in it. That's going to be the first goal right here, conceded from the Eagles. A little bit of a celebration lap, a little bit too early. Lunchbox still has other plans. There's still a lot of time on the clock. Only just under 60 seconds to go.
We have seen crazier things happen. 3 goals in 56 seconds. It's doable, but it is a very tall mountain to climb.
Let's see if they can climb that mountain or be denied access, courtesy of the Eagles. Both of these teams with some flying mascots. The Hawks right now just have been grounded, and the Eagles have been soaring. Look at Mystic right now walking away with another goal. That's 4 in total. So he has a hat trick plus right now.
And it was just a smart play by Ghost. Instead of trying to force that ball around or straight to the net, he just goes off the sidewall. He knows it. He has a teammate there. And of course, it's Mystic to make it 5-1. And for Vieira, you're going to have to go back to the drawing board here going into game 2.
Yeah, I always talk about that. It's one of these games. You have a long series ahead of you. It's a best of 7 as we approach the under 25 seconds remaining. But it's a long series. It's one of these games where you kind of have to store into your short-term memory, but at the same time, go back to the drawing board, assess what happened, apply what changes you guys have to do, then take that with you into game number 2 and so on. But we're gonna see if the Vieira Hawks can do that with that short time. You see Blue Pig found the answer here late in game number 1. They do end up scoring a goal, but obviously it's not going to be enough to push past the Eagles here in game 1.
And I think for Copiague, they've gotten a little bit sloppy here in the last 90 seconds, kind of taking their foot off the throttle as they've kind of realized they kind of have game 1 in the bag. But it's allowed Vieira to capitalize, stretch their muscles a little bit. And what, we'll say that's 3 goals in the final minute for Vieira.
I know
for game 2, things are looking interesting.
I was going to say, I know for a fact it's at least 2 goals here within the final 10 seconds. It's been absolutely ridiculous. But like I said beforehand, not going to be enough to push past the Copiague Eagles. They're going to take game number 1 here of a potential 7. But the Vieira Hawks did find some signs of life, did have some momentum as well towards the tail end of this ball game. So, I mean, they just have to really find an answer here for Mystic, who walks away with 4 goals off of only 7 shots.
And for me, anytime a team puts on 7 or more shots on the game, you're doing something right. But as a single player putting on 7 shots, like you said, you got to shut him down somehow. Either get in his way, demo him, or just something, because Mystic just can't afford to have all that space.
Yeah, I do want to point out as well that Blue Pig actually had 5 saves as well, but that's, I feel like, due to the fact that they just played so much defense. If you think back to a majority of that game was played on the blue half of the field, so the Eagles pretty much had possession the whole entire time. So, I mean, that results in a lot of saves right there for Blue Pig. And on top of that, I mean, just a lot of shot opportunities for the Eagles that were just denied by Vera High School as well. So Vera High School, in my personal opinion, they have what it takes to kind of get a game away from the Eagles. They could even potentially win this series. They just have to play better Rocket League than this game number 1 presented.
Yeah, game number 1, we saw Vieira just kind of, they'd get possession of the ball and they just boom it downfield. The dump and chase play style really isn't going to work here. I'd like to see them just hold on to possession, dribble it upfield, make a player miss, make maybe 2 players miss, draw a double commit, open up some space for yourselves and constantly rather than playing chase the whole time.
Well, we're going to see if they can do that or not as we hop into game number 2. Going to see if the Hawks have an answer. Can they fight back, take another game, or tie the series back up? My apologies. Or are the Eagles going to soar to greatness one more time and take this game number 2 away? As we start off once again with so much pressure right onto the backs of the Hawks.
It was a good crossfield pass. Martin just couldn't get there in time. Didn't say his name a whole lot in game number 1. Quietly been to third man. Upfield pass up to Sin. Couldn't connect either. And we see Vieira getting a little bit more life into them here into game number 2.
At the midfield line, Ghost just slow playing that one. It's a good slow play as well. You saw Martin with the overtake. A good advancement right there from Blue Pig as well. Going to force the defenders of the Eagles back to their half of the field. And this is what they're starting to do so far, just combat this pressure that the Eagles had in that game number 1. A little bit of a slow play once again. Going low was Mystic. Here comes the cannon, though, from Ghost. Going to score first. Going to take a goal here for the Eagles. Is this their second goal production? I'm not too sure. I think it might be. I think I missed the first goal for sure.
And I don't remember Copier scoring other than right there. And really, it was just an unfavorable bounce off the post for Vieira. Just kind of hooked that 90 a little bit weird. And Copier, they're up 2-0 to start game 2. And for Vieira, you got to figure it out here quickly before things really start to snowball as Martin just continues to lay it on.
I think we did see a little bit of a different strat right here for the Vera Hawks, but that's just a mistouch, a big one, in fact, from Lunchbox, who tries to pinch clear that one away. Unfortunately, doesn't have enough speed or momentum to actually get the pinch off. And that just lacks, or kind of goes into a floater mode right in front of the blue box and leaves a huge opportunity right there for the Eagles to capitalize on. So it makes it in favor 3-0 now at this point in time. But I want to point out the fact that Vera Hawks did make a substitution. They have a player named Sin now on the pitch. So we have Lunchbox, Sin, and Blue Pig instead of Goat.
I was curious about that. I was like, I don't remember seeing Sin's name in game number 1. That's a good shot from Martin. Can't get through. And again, for Blue Pig, I'd like to see him just hold on to the ball a little bit more, keep it a bit closer. Because right now, Copier, they are taking advantage of every little mistake that Vieira makes.
Yeah, so far, they've been doing a much better job, in my personal opinion, escaping the pressure that the Copier Eagles have been presenting to them. But being down 3-0, once again, is not a good look. But they definitely need to start off the games a little bit better. Finish a lot of these drives as well. They really haven't had too many opportunities on the offensive end per se. So, I mean, when they do get that chance, they need to finish those ones and actually make the Eagles defense respect them.
There's a mistouch there from Mystic. He's just going to take it back and regroup. Play a bit of keep away. And for Vieira, there's no one in the way. You got to get into the faces of the Eagles right now because they just have free reign of the pitch.
Yeah.
And you're kind of stuck twiddling your thumbs in your own end trying to break out.
And not only that, but take away some of these shooting lanes as well. You know, some of these passing lanes, the shooting lanes are just wide open. See, for majority of the defense right here for the Vera Hawks, they're just pushed back towards their half of the field. So they have to get up and aggressive and take a lot of these opportunities away from the Eagles, and that's going to really result in a lot of that pressure issue that they're starting to see. Still, Minute and 45 seconds left, and this is only game number 2. They still have a lot of time left, a lot of series left as well. Like I said, didn't have the best start here in game 2, didn't have the best start in game 1 either. But at the same time, they have to start to implement some of these changes that they're starting to see in the offensive defensive end.
Yeah, and with the best of 7, it's a little more forgiving as Martin from way downtown gonna make it 4-0. And Sin a little bit caught in no man's land, as some people call it, where you're too far forward, you're too far back to really make a challenge on the ball.
Yeah.
And for Martin, you know, he slots it home, makes it 4-0. Very comfortable is Kopieg. And for Vieira, there's just a lot of times where I see players where they're just kind of caught in the same rotation, just kind of bunched up on the field. You're unable to make consistent challenges. And once again, the ball just buried deep within the blue end.
Well, 60 seconds left here in game number 2. So far, it's been all Copier Eagles leading this one 4-0, trying to make it 5-0 now. Martin with the far shot. Want to point out the fact that Martin has himself a hat trick. This is lingering too far. Good save, though. Covered up by Vera Hawk's defense. Good opportunity as well for their offense to try to get something going here late. I think it's kind of interesting to see that change to bring Sin on. Might be the starter, might not be, but at the same time, we did see a lot of offense starting to be mounted towards the tail end of that last game for the Vera Hawks. So to actually pull Go out and to replace them with Sin was kind of an interesting strategy. It didn't really work out in their favor.
We'll see what Vieira does if they make another substitution or if they stay with this trio. In the final 10, Blue Pig thought he was going to at least try to get something middle, backs off of it. And for Copier, they're halfway home, and that one's going to own goal off of the side of Lunchbox. And that's just a little more salt in the wound.
Yeah, just a little bit, but at the same time, you can't really blame Lunchbox in that situation, just trying to rotate back through. As he says, great pass in the chat. He knows he messed up, but at the same time, gotta have good spirits and kind of wash that one off.
So many times I say you got to feel good if you're going to play good, and if you're mentally beating yourself up and you get tilted, at that point it's dusted, it's chalked. It's so hard to come back from that mentality. But even if you're able to keep things light, even just for yourself or for your whole team, it can do wonders. And so now for Vieira, something's got to happen here. You have 2 players in double digits, which is not great for Rocket League standards.
Well, I agree with you on that one. I mean, it's not great is the polite term that you're using there, Ernie. But at the same time, I mean, I want to highlight the fact that Vieira High School only had 1 shot total that whole entire game number 2. So unfortunate that they didn't really have too many opportunities. But I mean, that's just the nature of the beast right there. You see the Copier Eagles, they're just playing that off-ball defense that Vieira High School needs to apply to their offense and to their defense as well. Not really giving too many opportunities, not too many looks on the offensive end for Vieira High School, and that's the main reason why. So, I mean, there's still, like I said, a lot of series left. Vieira High School, like I said before, they have some chances. They can do this. They can pull this one off. They can pull off at least a couple of games here over the Eagles, but at the same time, they have to start off these games better. Like we said, they started off 2-0.
This is the start we needed.
This is the start that we needed right here. Blue Pigs going to score the first goal. I was going to say, this is exactly what they needed to do.
Guns blazing right out of the gates. Blue Pig going to capitalize on the triple commit in the corner for Copier. Normally, 2 players in the same corner is bad, but 3 is almost a death sentence. So for Vieira, you start off on the right foot, but now you got to extend and hold on to that lead.
I do want to point out as well, another substitution change here for Vieira Hawks. They're going to go ahead and make Lunchbox sit on the sidelines this time. The green light's going to go ahead and go to Blue Pig, Goat, and Sin. I did see some ping issue there towards the tail end of that game for Lunchbox, so that might be a contributing factor as to why that happened. But irregardless, it does work out for them starting off. Vieira Hawks 1-0. Good save right there from Goat as it gets popped into the corner. Here comes Martin now off of the ceiling, utilizing that ceiling flip reset and all his boosts as well. But what a passing play right here from Ghost to Mystic.
And Ghost just right off the backboard. Almost put that one top shelf. Mystics there to clean up. And Vieira just not able to hold on the lead for long as we're tied early here.
Yeah, it was such a good start, too, for the Hawks. I want to see them go right back to work on the offensive end of the field because there's too many opportunities like this one, and it's missed away. Unfortunate right there for the Eagles. They're going to take the lead off of that kickoff pressure. Mystic still putting a decent shot towards net. Martin going for the follow-up, covered up by Sin. What a good save. Crucial one indeed. You have to think now the boost reserves for the Eagles. They committed to that offensive segment. Has to be a little bit low. They have to be struggling just a tad bit on the defensive side of the field. So Hawks have to capitalize on this one. Missed pass. Blue Pig. Can he get the back of the net? He does. He's going to pick up his second goal. Going to put Vieira Hawks right back up.
And for Martin, I think he was trying to force this one a little too much. And it was off the mark. Blue Pig was right there to capitalize. And I don't think Blue Pig will send him a Christmas card this winter, but...
Definitely received a gift, though, right?
Yes, it was definitely a gift.
No gift like the present. And that's exactly what Rocket League is about as well. Just the mistakes of your opponents. And can you make them pay from those mistakes as well?
Every game comes down to who makes the first mistake and who makes the last mistake.
Yeah, basically.
And so far, Kopieg making copious amount of mistakes here in game number 3, as we're now down 3-1.
See what you did there. And copious is a word I love to use on a broadcast because a lot of people don't use it, but I'm going to give you that one. Another tally mark, another check mark in your box there, Ernie. But yeah, a big, huge goal right there for Vieira Hawks. Going up by 2 now. First time they actually have been in the lead is in this game right here, game number 3. Little shot right there from Goat, my apologies, going to be popped away over into the corner. They quite get who got that read there, or who got the save there, popped it into the corner.
Goat was right there, just couldn't rotate his car enough. That's a good pass intercept from Blue Pig. But again, Mystic just so consistent. He's always there. And Sin's going to get a bit lucky that shot was wide. Halfway through, Vieira, they're looking much better.
2 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. Vieira Hawks starting to play a little bit less aggressive here. Good takeaway, though, at the midfield line, past midfield. Not going to find his mark for Mystic. Goat now at midfield. Good advancement. No follow-up touch, though, from the Hawks. Mystic now, once again, we're calling his name out time and time again. He's constantly putting pressure on the back of the net, and this is exactly why you have to respect his shots, because he gets a nice pass to Martin, who's going to drill that one home, cut the lead in half.
And that might have deflected off of Blue Pig, trying to just get in the way of the pass, and he just didn't get enough on it. It was still in a very dangerous position. Would have rather seen him try to get that one off the backboard, make it a little bit more of a difficult read, because that ball fell straight to a Kopieg player. And now the lead's down to 1. We've seen Vieira play a lot better, but now it's starting to get to crunch time here.
Ooh, what a dunk right there from Martin. Going to be saved away, though, by Blue Pig. Like you said, still lots of time left on the clock. It is getting worse and worse for the Eagles, though. But still, nothing to really panic about just yet. But the pressure is indeed onto their defense right now. The Hawks trying to add more onto their lead. Definitely need this goal here in transition. Put them in a situation. The floater. Blue Pig, 4th goal. Going to find the back of the net, just taking the team and putting it on his back.
Blue Pig throwing the changeup. Kopieg expecting the fastball. Completely catches both Eagle players off guard. So Vieira looking strong, but I'm still looking for them to close out this game. Martin couldn't get the flip reset to go through.
Unfortunate missed opportunity right there for Martin. Definitely would have looked like a good goal as well on the highlight reel, but there goes Blue Pig trying to find his 5th goal. Denied, though, by the defense of the Eagles. Ghost now in midfield. Take away from Goat. Mystic, awkward situation. Martin off the backboard. Mystic putting pressure towards the center of that net right there of the Hawks. Here comes Blue Pig now. Open net opportunity. Going to be covered up. Taken away by Mystic. Martin, though, weird situation to be in. Almost own goals that one into the back of the net of the Eagles.
Just being bullied.
Yeah, absolutely getting bodied left and right and in between. Still, though, pressure is being applied. The Hawks getting so much. So many chances, so many opportunities right now. The Eagles look like such a different team.
And whatever changes Vieira made in the intermission between last game and this game, it has worked wonders. As now, all of a sudden, we have a series.
Yeah, we do. Looking at a potential 5-game series now instead of that 4-game series. So, Vieira Hawks staying alive. You see them celebrate. All courtesy of Blue Pig. 4 goals in total, 3 saves as well, doing it on the back end, picking up that savior medal and that hat trick at the same time. So, I mean, this is a good mix-up right here. First game, I believe we saw Blue Pig with Goat and Lunchbox. Second game, we saw, I believe, Blue Pig to Goat and Sin. Now we're starting our Lunchbox, my apologies, and now we're starting to see that Blue Pig, Sin, and Goat. So the combination is just like who is hot, who is on, mixing, mashing, and right now, I mean, Vieira High School definitely went back to the drawing board. They found their hot players right now, and now the ball is in the Eagles' court. Can they respond to that? Can they play against 3 different players?
I think Vieira, they finally have all their ducks in a row, we'll say, to keep the bird puns going. But so far, Vieira, I mean, after that last game, they've looked strong. Blue Pig with the flick. He's going to bury. Only needs 5 seconds, ladies and gents. And pigs do fly.
That was ridiculous. And like we said, we just have to have a better start to the Vieira Hawks offense and the better start to their gameplay in general. And it's going to be a different team that we've seen. And this is exactly why. They did it in game number 3. They're doing it here in game number 4.
Because
now I was going to say, now all the pressure is right back onto the Eagles.
You look at games 1 and 2, and for Vieira, you start with such a big handicap. You're already down 2-3 goals.
Yep.
And it's like from there, you're like, okay, we're probably not going to win this game. Martin gets bumped off the ball, had an open net opportunity. But for Vieira, the past 2 games, they start off on the right foot. They start off hot. And they find themselves in the lead here early, and that's a good place to be.
Yeah, not only that, but they're starting to come up short as well on the offensive end. You've seen a couple of missed opportunities right there for the Eagles, but
no
could
way.
have been because of the fact that the Hawks defense has been awoken. So the Hawks defense is definitely responding a lot better to the offense here of the Eagles. On top of that, their offense is getting results as well. Martin with a shot off the backboard, not going to find its mark. Blue Pig, 50-50. Goat. Advancement taken away, though, by Mystic. Sin, accidental off the back wall. Can they find this one? Open net. Blue Pig on the rotation through. Saves it away. Keeps Vieira Hawks up by 1.
Blue Pig, a true end-to-end player. He can put quality shots on net, but he's always there in the nick of time to get a save and keep the lead for his team. And that timing is, you can't teach that. It's something the player has to learn and adapt to. And it's a 2-on-0 the other way. Since thought Sin was going to get credit for the goal, he doesn't. And again, Blue Pig, again, just an end-to-end player.
Yeah, this was just such a weird placement right here from Blue Pig. It works out for them, so I'm glad to see it. But he had the whole right side of the net to work with. He just popped that one towards center. He looked like you said, was going to be a pass to Sin. And then just at the last second, Blue Pig undergoes him and gets a little bit of contact on the ball. So secures, I'm not going to say steals it, but he secured that goal there for the Vieira Hawks. And now they're up 2-0. And like we said beforehand, the pressure is completely on the Eagles right now. They've just been outplayed and outpaced this whole entire time since the end of game number 2.
Yeah, since the end of game 2, the Eagles have been completely shut down. Just quiet from their end. As I don't know if they've tried to adjust and that's just not working, or what it is, but this team just does not look the same. They can't match the play style of the Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's just been the constant takeaway. Like finally, the Hawks are getting the clears that they need to. They're getting the looks that they need to. They're finding the back of the net as well, and there hasn't been too many opportunities.
Hey, dude, meet the Sirocco. The sneaker built for catching up with friends. Hey, dude, shoes.
If you want to live here, you have to ride.
Yeah! That was insane! Woo! Pre-order Diablo 4.
For the Eagles, or somebody like Martin, for example, who had himself a hat trick in game number 2, just really hasn't been active on the offensive side of the field. And we haven't seen that combination offense either. That Mystic is going to have himself a far goal, going to cut the lead in half. But at the same time, you know, I'm not going to say a lucky goal. It's a good place shot right here from Mystic. But at the same time, they still had a couple defenders back to try to save that one away.
And, you know, it's the Rocket League gods, they giveth and taketh away. Right there, Kopieg going to be in favor of the Rocket League gods. They cut the deficit to 1, still plenty of time. But I'd like to see more out of Kopieg, because right now it still feels like they're the ones trapped on defense.
Yeah, I think that's a good assessment right there. They have been, for the majority, trapped on defense.
Oh.
Goat going to pick up their first goal, I believe, of the series. Walking away here with a good shot. Free jump play as well.
Good
what
read.
A dunk onto Martin. Puts the goal, puts the lead back up by 2.
That's a solid read from Goat, and it's so key to go back up by 2 with just over, or just under 2 minutes to play, we'll say. And it forces Kopieg to make a little bit more aggressive plays. Got to pull the goalie a little bit. Blue Pig trying to force it through all 3 players.
So far, the Hawks have been the ones on the offensive end. Good cover up right there from Goat. And that's what we were talking about right there. Usually you don't see that follow-up touch from game 1 and game 2. You haven't seen that follow-up touch right there from the Hawks. A good shot right there from Goat. Going to be saved away by Ghost and company.
Both Kopieg players got caught looking for boost when that shot got put on. Mystic redirect too far behind it. Slight double commit for Kopieg, as they got to spread things out a little bit more if they want to get in good position for good shots.
Well, under 60 seconds to go, the Eagles need to get something on the board. Blue Pig, good cover up. Ghost trying to go towards Mystic. Mystic misfires on that one. Martin cheating up as well. Couldn't quite get the read. This is an open net. Interesting. Going to be taken away, though, by Goats. Still in dangerous territories. There's the escape right there. Final 30 seconds now. Eagles on their back half. Good save by Mystic.
Good demo.
Huge demolition as well. Final 15 seconds now. Sin gonna find his way into the back of the net. That should right here solidify this game number 4.
I would
and tie
think
the
so.
series right back up. Yeah.
I would think so. 3 goals, 15 seconds. I'd lose my mind, if I'm honest. With how dominant Vieira have been here in Game 4, I mean, it'd be a shocking collapse, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. As the sand in the hourglass going to run out here in game number 4. How things can change in 10 minutes in a Rocket League series, as we will be tied 2-2 going into Game 5.
Yeah, like I said, it's just been pretty much the mix and match offensive style of Sin, Blue Pig, and Goat. Now all 3 members of Vieira Hawks getting involved on the offensive end. Mystic sitting at the bottom of the board with that 1 goal, so you see them struggling just a tad bit as well. So the Eagles definitely need to go back to the drawing board, like we said, that the Vieira Hawks had to do, and basically assess what's going on the pitch. And in my personal opinion, you know, it's been a lot of the takeaway offense that they were so used to and accustomed to, that they pretty much built their offense upon in game 1 and game 2. We were talking about it, how there was just so many off shot angles that the Vieira High School were not covering up, and they just left so much out there. And then the Eagles just had so much opportunity and so much pressure as well onto the defense. And now all of a sudden you're starting to see the flip of the script. Those opportunities are not there, and that pressure is not there either.
And really for Copier, games 1 and 2, they kind of played a trap defense where they just waited for the ball to come to them, and then they just pounded back in and get a couple of goals out of it. But it feels like Vieira, they've adapted to that, switched things up, and it's completely countered what Copier's defense was trying to do. And now going into game number 5, it feels like Copier, they're a fish out of water, it feels like right now.
Yeah, on top of that, think back to that game number 3, the game before this last one. There was just so many mistakes there from the Eagles too, and the Vieira Hawks totally made them pay a majority of the time. So minimize those mistakes, start to try to mix it up a little bit on the offensive end, and the Eagles can quickly bounce right back and regain this series lead. But for now, we are tied 2-2 apiece in the series. Blue Pig trying to make the difference, get that first goal here for Vieira Hawks. Not going to find its mark, though, as we head into game number 5.
In game number 5, it's very quiet. I'll say both teams, again, testing the waters. It's just, again, it just whiffs from Copier just seemed ill-timed, and I'm a little shocked as how consistent they were in the first 2 games. It really feels like things are just slowly crumbling for the Eagles.
I mean, they have a lot of time to bounce back, though. They're starting to, like you see right here, they need to capitalize on this one. It'll definitely be a huge shot towards their mentality if they do just that. Mystic has always been so good. Finds a way of putting these ones either on target or putting them close enough for his teammates to capitalize on. He has another chance right here. Sin with the takeaway, though. Blue Pig up on the other end of the field. Forces Martin up into the air. Right now, it's a predicament for Martin to be in. He had to get that 100 boost at midfield, or there was going to be a situation for the defense of the Eagles.
Yeah, a couple of times we've seen Copier go boost over, ball bounce shot from Goat just wide. Blue Pig couldn't finish either. We see Mystic in transition. But again, Vieira's third man so present on defense, really not letting anything by. As Sin just caught flat-footed on the goal line, gets caught out. Mystic puts Copier back in the lead for the first time in over 10 minutes.
Yeah, this is one of those weird situations right there that Sin was in. He was in the middle of the net, and that's a big no-no here for the defense of Rocket League. You can't sit in the middle of the net for too long. You have to keep that momentum, or else once you do try to save that ball away, guess what? All that speed from the ball is going to knock you a little bit backwards and get enough momentum and speed back to push that one and yourself into the net, and that's exactly what happened there from Sin. So unfortunate right there for the Hawks. A bounce out, top bar down in. Still going to find its way in, though. Martin going to score the second goal here from the Eagles, and how quickly have the tides turned right here for the Eagles, going right back up by 2.
I thought that was going to go off the ceiling and bounce straight in. Goes down, back out off of the crossbar. Martin still gets credit for it. And now for Vieira, it's time for you to respond to the call that Copier is asking. All 3 players in the box for Copier. Can't get it through for a third. And for Vieira, you know, I don't want to say that it's similar to game 1 and 2, but Copier just put some solid shots on net.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's similar to game 1 and 2 either, because I mean, it just feels different. You know, you still feel like there's a chance here for the Hawks. You know, you're expecting to kind of see a lot more chances and opportunities here on the offense and defense for them, but at the same time, we are seeing some similarities. The Eagles have just been playing some nonstop pressure. What a musty flick right there. Off of the ceiling is Blue Pig. The follow-up touch going to be denied as well. Martin going to be the savior here for the Eagles, keeping them up by 2 still. The pressure still is on, and this is the chances we were talking about that the Hawks still have in their arsenal. Blue Pig tried to get a float or maybe a waterfall shot down. That one's going to be denied.
Good chances here from Vieira. Upfield pass. Goat can't stretch out and reach it. As with 90 seconds to go, Vieira needs to get at least a 1 on the board to get the ball rolling.
Blue Pig from the corner now. Gonna be overtaken by Goat temporarily. Goat. Ooh, good dunk right there from Martin at midfield. It all comes down to the battle of this midfield line. Mystic, huge denial though. Keeping the Hawks scoreless still. Off the backboard we go. Under 60 seconds we go. Towards the midfield. Here comes Blue Pig. Last man back. Does get the interception. Gets the touch as well. Martin in a predicament. Can't save it away. Can't scoop it out. The lead is in shambles right now. Only down by 1 is Vieira Hawks.
And Mystic, he was trying to play the 50, trying to get to that ball second, and he just gets completely beat to it. And Vieira just put it on net, surprisingly. As it caught me a little off guard here. Now with 45 seconds to go, Vieira will see if he can get 2. You don't set up redirects like that. That's insane. That's insane, but also really impressive.
Really risky as well.
Yes, especially when you're up by 1 with 30 seconds to go. I don't think so. Maybe if you're up by like 4 with like a minute to go.
But it would look cool.
Oh, it'd be demoralizing for the other team to get clipped on that late, especially in a game where the winner will go on to series point.
Yeah, yeah. That's something we failed to mention as well. Yeah, whoever wins this one goes on to match points. Final under 10 seconds to go, I should say. Goat now, last chance, last-ditch effort here for the Hawks, and we stalled out at the midfield line. Here comes Blue Pig. Blue Pig has been the savior. Pops that one too high, though. A little bit too fast on the offensive attack right there is the Hawks, and they're going to fall here in game number 5. And the Copier Eagles are going to go ahead and move on to match point and win this matchup 2-1 so far.
Also, Copier had a sub in. We didn't say it, but Mason subbed in for Ghost.
I missed that.
I thought I saw something different earlier in the game, but then it just never occurred to me again. So for
the triple M team, Mystic, Martin, and Mason, who's been pretty much quiet the whole entire game, only walking away with 1 save the whole entire game. So, I mean, that's pretty much why we didn't recognize it, was because, you know, nothing really kind of happened there on the pitch for Mason. But at the same time, they still did pull out and pull past Vieira High School so far, but it comes down to who can respond now. The pressure's on Vieira High School. The pressure's on them. They need to win this game to stay alive, because right now the Eagles, like we said beforehand, on match points, and they need to respond with some high caliber offense that we so are used to seeing from the Hawks from the last couple of games. We need to see a big game on a Blue Pig, who had himself a hat trick a couple games ago. And on top of that, the last game saw all the members of the offense get involved on the offensive side of the field. So, I mean, we have to see some sort of life here for the Hawks.
And you say the pressure's on Vieira. The pressure's on Copier as well. The pressure's on them to close out this series, because how many times have we seen teams drop Game 6 and be absolutely blown out in Game 7 because they're so demoralized? And Goat goes top shelf to get his team off on the right foot.
They came off of what? This kickoff pressure, and a mistake right there once again from the Eagles. It started with Martin in the corner, who just pushed that one into the corner just a little bit too hard. Goat was at the right place at the right time, and he made the defense pay, putting Vieira Hawks up early. And so far, if the stat stays true, oh my goodness, makes up for it on the back end of the pitch. And I'll get to that stat here in a second, but watch this one back.
Martin just undresses 2 players of Vieira to tie this game up. Just has the ball on a string. And we're only 20 seconds in. We're on pace for how many goals this game?
I mean, so far it's just been
15?
I was going to say, so far it's just been like a low-scoring affair between the two, the last couple of matches for sure. But, yeah, it comes with the territory. Basically, both of the teams start to figure out the play styles and start to figure out what's going on out there, and it starts to get a lot more challenging defensively and offensively to score. But the one stat I wanted to stay true is the fact that when Vieira Hawks score first, they win the ball game. So we're going to see if that stat line stays true as we see a floater from Sin to give them the lead again.
Not the friendly fire team bump. between Mason and Martin.
Oh, they just missed. I don't think they bumped each other. I think it was just a pair of eagles soaring past each other.
I think what happened is they both called for it, and okay, hold on. Kickoff shenanigans, tomfoolery. At least the scoreboard's even though it's 2-4-0-4-2, so at least that's pleasing to see. But we got to find a victor here. What I was gonna say is for Copiague, I feel like both players called for the ball, and then they both backed out of it because they thought the other person was gonna go.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me as well. That's a good take right there, and it brings up the next point. You know, communication. It's going to come down to who has the better communication between the two teams as well, because that leads to a lot of mistakes. And that's a good shot. 1-2 pass. Speaking of communication, they're in sync right now. Copiague Eagles on the offensive chance right there, but a mistake from Goat leads to this opportunity.
And for Mystic, he is unaccounted for right in front of the net. Gets an absolute beautiful pass. That pass has to be on the money, and it was. And so Mystic hits pay dirt, gives his team the lead.
So far, the change with Mason has been the deciding factor for this Eagles squad. Ghost sitting on the sideline. The last couple of games, the Eagles pushed past the Hawks. The Hawks found their rhythm and their groove with Sin subbing in. Now the pressure is on. Right back onto the Hawks. Down by 1. Also down in the series. Oh, a close chance right there. Blue Pig misses that offensive chance and the tie as well. There's a chance right now for Martin to add some more on. Good defense right there from the Hawks. Secondary touch from Mason. Going to be high and denied from the Hawks defense.
Hawks defense again holding on, but just barely.
Let's be honest. The Spicy Crispy Chicken Sandwich should have been named the Spicy McCrispy all along. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey, dude, meet the Sirocco. The sneaker built for running the table. Hey, dude, shoes.
Yo, gotta try this new X. The fine fragrance go. Drip too hard, don't stand too close. You up around the drive off this way, doing all these shows. The new X Fine Fragrance Collection. Smell finer than the finest fragrances with the GOAT.
Feels at times as Copiague just so aggressive, so quick with their transitions. Oftentimes they catch Vieira still rotating back when they put shots on.
Comes a chance though for the Hawks. They were in the 3v2. Mystic was on the opposite end of the field temporarily. Here comes Blue Pig. Fires that one right towards Martin. The shot's off of the ceiling. Goat's not going to be able to catch up to it. Martin. I'm not too sure what happened here. The miscommunication, though, on the defensive end. You saw Sin going for that early challenge. Left Goat in that awkward situation. Just could not get the read. And that one's going to find the way in the back of the net.
Goat just in no man's land, and you got to trust your teammates on some challenges, but you also have to prepare for if they miss. Now for Vieira, you're down by 2. 2 minutes to go. You got to pace yourself, but you're going to need one quick. Mason in the box, trying to make it a 3-goal lead.
Short time now, under 2 minutes to go here for the Hawks. So far, it's been all Eagles. The Hawks have had some chances. They just have not crossed the finish line just yet. Goat, no boost to work with. Going to go ahead with the midfield pass. Oh! Blue Pig with the dunk on the goal line. Pushes it to the right-hand side. Only down by 1 now as the Hawks.
Goat, that was phenomenal. He basically just spoon feeds Blue Pig here. As I cannot believe that pass got through. It was picture perfect.
I mean, I honestly thought that Blue Pig was a little bit late to the reaction, but at the same time, it works out for him. No. Oh, my goodness. Had that second touch not come through for the Eagles, that could have been the equalizer. We could have been looking at a possible overtime situation. We still can be. Goat, Sin with the fire. There it is. All tied up now at the minute and 21 second mark.
And Goat with the misdirection in front, fakes out Mystic. Sin's right there to laser that one. Tape the twine. And all of a sudden we're tied at 4. May not be for long. Martin going to kick that one out to the corner. But Vieira still lurking in the orange half.
Under 60 seconds are going to be upon us. A fire right there from Sin. Want to remind everybody that the Hawks are trying to stay alive. The series is in favor right now of the Eagles. 50 seconds to go. Blue Pig breakaway. This could be the chance that they needed, and it is. He's going to pick up his second goal and take the lead.
The team pinch gives Blue Pig the breakaway as Goat and Sin combined. I was a little concerned because anytime a player brings the ball in front of their own net, I get a little nervous. But it somehow works out for Vieira. But again, there's still 40 seconds to play here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time on the clock still, to be honest with you, and a lot of chances as well that present themselves, especially when you have such a high-caliber offense like the Eagles.
Double commits like that aren't going to help, though.
Yeah, I mean, we're on the edge of our seats here as the casters. We're trying to pick apart this defense and the offense, basically. Good shot right there. Going to be taken away. That was Mason trying to get involved on the offensive side of the field for the Eagles. Mystic, though, last chance. Trying to get this offense kick-started. Goat. Martin keeping it alive. Last-ditch effort. Pass over to the right-hand side. Sin up in the air. Going to miss contact. No, he just makes contact. Aiming that one down. And the Vieira Hawks, like you said, force this game number 7 upon us. We didn't really see the breakdown that we were talking about here in game number 6, but at the same time, you did see a lot of back and forth movement. So in my personal opinion, I'm not too sure about you right now, Ernie, but it's still a coin flip, and which team is going to win this matchup?
Well, for me, I get to say my 2 favorite words. Game 7. It's what we live for as casters. Whether with the series decider, there's nothing better when everything is on the line. All the chips are on the table, all the marbles are on the line. Whatever you want to call it, we will find a victor here. And for Kopic, you got to feel like you let this one get away. You were up 2-0 in this series. You were up 3-2 in this series, and now you're going to Champions Field. And some teams, they hate Champions Field because they let the series get away from them. But for Vieira, you're literally flying high going into this last match, this last game. 5 minutes, and we'll find a victor.
I was going to say, remember thinking all the way back to that game number 1 before we even started all this, we were talking about how Vieira Hawks are 3-2. They're trying to turn their season around as we head into the playoffs. And then the Kopier Eagles are 5-2. And we were talking about how this Vieira Hawks offense is just heating up and how the team in general was heating up. My apologies. And this is case in point. So even though the Kopier Eagles win this matchup right here, it was a hard-fought victory and one that they're going to remember for sure heading into the playoffs.
Mystic had a good shot on, but it really feels like Blue Pig has been his counter this entire match. We saw Mystic put a hat trick on. Blue Pig was able to answer a game or 2 later. Speaking of Blue Pig, shot saved by Martin. Robs him at the last second. And 60 seconds into this one, it's looking to be a classic.
Ooh.
As a Mystic mystifies, puts his team in the lead.
Yeah, you don't want Mystic to get activated here, especially off of this clean pass to himself and then the tough read off the sidewall. That was such a great individual play and reminiscent to that game number 1 where we started to see the Eagles, pick up the offense and pick up the defense, and we started to see Mystic pretty much be that decision maker there on the offensive end of the Eagles. 2 whiffs and a half, I would say, for the Vieira Hawks.
And he still has possession.
Yeah.
It drops down. Goat's right there. But again, with Mystic, he has such a quick release. He doesn't need any time or any space to put a deadly shot on. And for Vieira, they're putting, again, quality shots on, but Kopieg just right there to get behind it.
Dangerous territory right there, and right here to be in if you're Vieira Hawks. That's the reason why. The follow-up touch tonight as well. A couple of saves apiece for the defense. Sin being the main contributor.
Ooh.
And that final secondary touch. Here comes Mystic, maybe going for a cucks here. Couldn't quite get the angle, though. And the speed. Just a little bit too far in front of the ball. Blue Pig, floater. Has to be respected by the defense, trying to take away this offensive chance right here for Vieira Hawks.
We see Sin up for this one. Gets a good 50 out. Again, all comes back to who can control the midfield line, really. And the possession of that has just kind of gone back and forth. So far, halfway through this last game, we'll say. And Vieira, again, they are knocking on the door. The door is ready to fall off its hinges. They just can't break through.
Exactly. I was going to say just that. And, you know, pretty much, I don't want to see them stall out on the offensive end, because that's what's really kept them in this game and in the series in general, was that the fact that they were actually finishing drives. You know, they have now become so stale on the offensive end and pretty much predictable on the offensive end as well. The Eagles have easily responded to them and adjusted their game plan just a tad bit, because we have a shot right here from Martin, going to be denied by Blue Pig. But at the same time, it really hasn't been too much of a mix-it up on the offensive end right there from Vieira Hawks. Really just a solo play, attacking the net, whether it be individually or just in a straight line. It just really has not been the best offensive performance so far for the Hawks.
And for Kopieg, you have to applaud them. They've kept Vieira out to the perimeter. They're not able to get anything inside going. And for Vieira, you got to figure out a way to get some infield passes. You got to keep going north-south. You got to go up the field. You're currently just pinned in your own end with 90 seconds to go. You're down by 1. You got to find a way to break out. You got to find a way to score. And right now, the time is not your friend.
I was going to say, right now, the Grim Reaper is knocking on the door of the Vieira Hawks for this impressive comeback. They were down 2 in this series so far. It's only 1 goal. You could think that they could come back and tie this ball game up, force an overtime matchup. But so far, the Eagles' offense and defense has just been keeping them at bay. Good defense, or good demolition right there from Mystic onto Blue Pig. One of the leaders here of the Hawks. Final 55 seconds, though. Clock working against you. The Hawks have to get everything going here.
So you've tripled in size, and you're using QuickBooks for accounting?
Oh, we're using QuickBooks for a lot more than accounting.
Really? What about integrated time tracking?
Yep.
Surely it doesn't have built-in approval workflows.
It does.
Real-time profitability reports? Online payments? Or can your team access it from anywhere?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, but we process hundreds of transactions at once.
Doing that with QuickBooks.
I guess it's not just for the books anymore.
Guess not.
Hey, Jake from State Farm.
We have to know.
Yeah, these are State Farm pajamas. No, what if we have to talk to somebody about our policy, but it's late at night? Call us 24/7.
Great, because what if someone still calls his mom for everything?
We'll walk you through everything. At State Farm, we're there for your what-ifs.
Oh, yeah, Mom, everything's great. Yeah. I mean, not my mom.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
On the offensive end of the field.
Blue Pig. Pass inside. Goat. Backboard. Pig's right there off the mark. Final 30 seconds. This is good pressure, but again, Mystic's so strong with his control. Vieira needs one last push in. They're going to have to go the full length if they want to tie this up.
And that's a good takeaway right here from Mystic as well. Stalling enough more of the clock. My apologies. Ghost off the backboard. Martin off the backboard now too. Off to the right-hand side. Mystic now keeping that pressure on as well. A floater towards them seconds. 0 seconds is what I meant to say. And it's not going to be enough. Kopieg Eagles are going to pull off this win. Moving on to 6-2 now on the season, but a hard-fought victory this one was, only winning this final game number 7 by 1 goal.
And this was the closest game in the series, hands down. Granted, Game 6 was 5-4, but this was a 1-goal game, just a defensive slugfest, we'll call it. Very boring game of Rocket League, we'll say.
not boring by any means.
Not a whole lot going on, just good defensive play on either side. And I said it earlier in the series, it comes down to the first mistake and the last mistake. And sometimes that first mistake will be the last mistake. And unfortunately for Vieira, they drew the short stick.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It was a very, very good game number 7. Not boring in my personal opinion, Ernie, but I mean, at the same time, we're Rocket League fanatics, so we know, and we're constantly watching, scanning the field, looking at like the ins and outs of it. And it was just, like you said, a great defensive battle right here, not only from the Eagles, but from Vieira Hawks as well. So hats off to the Eagles. They got the job done in 7, and by that, like we said, that 1 goal as well, moving on to 6-2 on the season. And the Vieira Hawks moving on to 3-3 now on the season, but an impressive team nonetheless. But Ernie, that's going to be our time here on the HSEL